Hey, I forgot to make this video earlier. You probably heard that a few days ago already. 10 cards will get nerf reverted, so if the card ever got changed to the worse, they will become back to the normal. The one card that is still in standard is going to be Sludge Slurper. They already announced that on the Play Hearthstone channel, I think yesterday. But there's still 9 cards. 9 cards we can talk about and speculate and see which of them might get reverted. I ask a bunch of you. I didn't make a survey, but I asked in chat on stream to see which cards you would like to have reverted. And if we look at the fact that we have 4 white cards and 5 Year of the Raven cards, we have only 4. Only 4 cards that are in wild right now from 1,000 something cards that get reverted. The thing is, most nerfs, I think, happen to classic cards. For example, Knife Juggler used to be a 3-2, now it's a 2-2. You could say, well, Knife Juggler got nerfed, he should get reverted. He is technically in the Year of the Raven. While that is true, I highly doubt they do that. For example, we have this wonderful card, Flakmage. It's a 3-2 with a giant upside. Well, doesn't get nerfed, or doesn't seem to get nerfed. Is that good design philosophy? Apparently, this is hard to spot that. The one card is... Yeah. Anyways, we have a bunch of cards we can talk about. I thought I'd just go to the Gamepedia, in which you can see every single card change made over the past 2 years, use my glasses so I can actually read the cards and the nerfs, and then we talk about which cards might get reverted. Obviously, just my thoughts and personal opinion doesn't mean it's true. So if you have different thoughts, different opinions, please don't hate on me. I mean, let me know in the comments down below. First up, the majority, Yogg. Why? Because Yogg is great. And we have Yogg's puzzle box, which literally has the exact same effect. I mumbled, but you know what I said. Has the same effect. You know, only up to 10, but still. Even if you die, it keeps casting spells. Why is Yogg still nerfed? Doesn't make any sense. It makes 0 sense. Next one. All of you, some of you, played during Angora, and you like Raza Priest, Enderman Priest, shot. I probably shouldn't say weapons because YouTube and demonetization. Anyways, 0 mana hero power. If we get that back, maybe Priest gets out of tier 3. The only viable Priest deck right now is Big Priest. If Raza Priest becomes a thing again, we can play Reno Priest, the old Reno Priest. That would be a lot of fun, at least for some people. But those 2 answers are just to make you guys satisfied, because most of you voted for that. Let's hear my thoughts that are completely different from yours. Guaranteed, or not. First off, for Hunter, Call of the Wild. It got nerfed from 8 mana to 9 mana, I think like 2 or 3 years ago. You also played, not too sure, but I think you also played Spiteful Summoner, which then get from 6 mana to 7 mana. Maybe those 2 cards get reverted back, because Hunter is... You don't play Beasts in Hunter. Besides Beast Hunter. And if you play a card on turn 8 or turn 9, there is a difference, I know that. Considering how fast the game is and how often you die on turn 5, if Call of the Wild would be 8 mana instead of 9, is there a big difference? I don't see it. Even Hunter becomes even better. Recently somebody got to Legend. Probably multiple people playing even Hunter. Crazy, right? Because who plays even Hunter? Some people do. And if you can even have an 8 mana card in even Hunter, Call of the Wild, and summon Leon, Misha, and Huffer, go face for 5 damage. For 8 mana. I think it's fine. Considering that we have Tortolin, which casts Puzzle Box or any spell, which can completely change the entire outcome of the game. Maybe you should have a consistent 8 mana card for Hunter. I think that's fine. For Spiteful Summoner though, because I also talked about that. Hard to say. Debatable. I mean, does it see play at 7 mana? No. Does it see play at 6 mana? Probably no. So I guess they could also be targeted, but unlikely. I would say unlikely. What else do we have? Let's find out. Right now I'm just looking at all the nerfs from 2016, and all those cards are standard cards. Classic cards. All from the classic set. For example, Ancient of Law. I know he's not needed or targeted, but this card is so horribly bad. The effect is worth 5 mana. Why is it 7 mana? It just doesn't make any sense. Like, no. Even in Druid, you can just play Big Old Chonker. And you also draw a card. And you have a Dragon Synergy. Which is a lot better than playing Agent of Law. Just to put it out there, if they already revert nerfs, then maybe, just maybe, look at cards they nerfed from the classic set. Just a hint, you know, because the card is bad. Nobody plays that. Moving on. We get a bunch of more classic cards. This will get backlash, I assume. Tuskar Totemic. What if he gets reverted back? Because the chance is so low that he get Totem Golem and then also win. Because nobody plays aggro shaman without the even part. Everybody plays even. And the card is 3 mana, so maybe you get high roll stuff back, but I assume no. I'm pretty sure they don't want to promote aggressive decks that just go face and have no interactivity, that just high roll and you feel bad because you couldn't do anything. But it would be interesting to see, because I highly doubt that this deck would make such a big difference. Because nobody plays it right now. Kevin's below. We recently played Quest Rogue and tried to finish this in a stupid way. In a really stupid way. And I can tell you this quest is so bad. The card got nerfed 3 times in total. The very first time, instead of requiring 4 minions of the same name, now we need 5. Then instead of summoning 5 5s, you make 4 4s. And the very last time, if you play a card like Sonya or Barnes, and you get a copy of a card, of a minion to your hand, and they get a 1/1 copy or summon a 1/1 copy, they stay a 1/1. This one gets reverted back to you summon 4 of the same name, and then you get 4 4s or 5 5s. One of those. Would that be so bad? Would that be so good? Because in all honesty, I can't tell. Probably if you high roll extremely, you can finish this on turn 2 or so. Especially now because you have this pirate guy that gives you 2 of them. So you just play this one and, Shadow Stab, and the quest will be finished. That might be too easy. You have all the materials to finish the entire quest on turn 1. But I would say because the card is so bad, like so insanely bad, and you encounter Quest Rogue 1 in 5,000 games or so, this should get back, just to see how it is. I highly doubt that this one is too good. But I'm not a game designer, I'm just a person sitting here, complaining that this card is still nerfed. What do you think about that? Like specifically this card. Quest Rogue, maybe? Could be. We shall see. Then, my personal favorite, Dreadsteed. Now, Dreadsteed probably stays the way it is. Dreadsteed used to read, if this card dies, or when this card dies, summon a Dreadsteed. So you could play Dreadsteed to file. Which probably is the reason that this card will never go back to normal. But it would be a cool change. Dreadsteed is so insanely useless. Also, you can just silence that. Anyways, imagine that. The next card I look at right now is Naga Sea Witch. It used to be a 5/5 for 5 mana. So you play Naga Sea Witch into a bunch of giants because they messed up how those cards work together. What if we get Giants Hunter back? It's very unlikely, like insanely unlikely. But you never know when they make bad decisions. I mean, they do quite often. But maybe. Maybe we have games that last until turn 4 again. Oh wait, we have that. Mag Hand Buff Paladin. Also unlikely. So let's see, for the nerfs in 2018, we had Patches no longer has charge. I don't want to have a charge Patches. That probably stays the way it is. Raza got also noted. At that point we talked about him, he should go back. Raza's great. And lastly, Bone Mare. Bone Mare used to cost 7 mana, now it's 8. Nobody plays Bone Mare. But I guess Odd Paladin could play that and Odd Rogue. Unlikely, but they could. Maybe that would be too much. Also because if a card gets changed, it's also for Arena. Maybe they think about Arena once every decade and don't want to have Bone Mare at 7. Just personally saying, getting to turn 7 is hard enough. So maybe Bone Mare goes back. Let's see what else we have. Call to Arms. Now, Call to Arms only sees play if you play a Control Paladin deck and you would like to get, I don't know, Loot Hoarder out of your deck or something. Would that be fun at 4 mana to make even Paladin actually somewhat useful? I think it would be, in all honesty. But considering that you pay 4 mana and you summon 3 minions out of your deck that can all be 2-drops, so you can play double Dirty Red and the other 2 6 Taunt, might be too much. But you want to have 6 18 in stats if you high roll for 4 mana? Well, sounds like Oaken summons into Vargheth, doesn't it? Druid has that, Paladin could have that too, and Paladin is kinda bad if you not play Mag Hand Buff Paladin. And if you play Mag Hand Buff and you would play Call to Arms, you would just destroy your hand buff and your hand reduction if you have Galvanize and stuff. In my mind, this card could go back down to 4, because just make even Paladin a thing. Please. Next thing that comes to mind, Serenite Chain Gang. Here is my reasoning why this card probably gets unnerfed. Or they just skip that, you never know. Because Shadowwalk is going to be wide exclusive in a month from now anyways. And we have Doppelgangster, which is a better effect than Serenite. There's no point in not reverting Serenite back. In case you don't know how the card got changed, it used to read, summon a copy of this minion. So if you buff this, and you summon a copy, you keep the buffs. You just played this in standard for Shadowwalk, so you actually have a copy of Shadowwalk. Then it got nerfed to summon a copy. Then it got nerfed to summon another Serenite Chain Gang. Well, now that it's wide exclusive in a month from now, is there any point in having this the way it is? Maybe how long can this go on? Comes back into Twitch chat. Such a good copy pasta. In the same month, in the same patch actually, also level up. Went from 5 mana to 6 mana. Just to point this out, okay? This has nothing to do with the entire video. I'm just happy. Odd Paladin doesn't have 4 buffs. That's good. Thank you. Spellstone is next. It used to cost 5 mana, now it's 6. Theoretically, if you do play even Hunter, it's better to have a 6 cost Spellstone than no Spellstone, because you can play it at 5. Maybe, that's 1 mana too much. If you high roll, you can summon 12 in stats on turn 5. Well, you can do that in every other class anyways. I just feel like just summoning wolves that have no effect, that have nothing but being a 3/3, and you summon 4 of them. Would that change so much if it is 1 mana cheaper? Debatable. It just, I've not seen this card once since it got nerfed, so. The thing is, at this point in the Gamepedia where I look at all the card changes, I'm where it says Year of the Dragon. And they said they're going to revert cards that are in Wild and Year of the Raven cards. Meaning all the cards starting with Evil Miscreant in Raiding Party, for example, they will stay. We already know the one card that got changed back to normal is Sludge Slurper. We had the announcement for that. Meaning all the cards that got nerfed in the past year or so, they stay. All the cards we talked about so far have to be kinda changed, might be changed, or something else happens to them. I'm just really curious about how they define Year of the Raven. Maybe they answered that, but if they say Year of the Raven cards, does it mean only 3 expansions and the nerfs in those expansions, or does they also include the classic set? Because that is in the Year of the Raven. Theoretically, it does say that. And theoretically, it doesn't specify that. So, in short, Raze, Yogg, please be back to normal. So we have some more interesting matches. Also, I don't want to play Yogg Druid, cast 30 to 60 spells, and then he dies on spell number 2. And with that being said, my name is Solem. You can find me on Twitch because I stream there. Also, one important question. For me, at least. Kind of important. First off, tomorrow there's going to be the custom card video. So we can see the top custom cards you guys submitted. If I do this style of video again, where we talk about things that might happen, predictions, things that are not announced yet, but we can speculate about. Should I just ask all of you for your own opinion? Because I think it was pretty interesting when I asked you for the Hall of Fame cards. I asked 600 of you to predict which cards might get Hall of Famed. I think that was pretty interesting to see, because we might have different opinions. Maybe I'm completely off of what you guys think. In the future, if I do this style of video, I will just ask you. For that, Discord. I will just add all of you and be like, hey, fill out this survey. Want to be in a video? Maybe. Anyways, thanks for watching. Let me know what do you think in the comments down below. We know the subreddit, you can submit stuff because I created one. Take care and have a good day. What an outro.